I was on fire and I was saying amazing things and I had all these profound epiphanies to share, and now there's nothing. It feels like in my brain there's just like a little me sitting there just smiling blankly back at myself going, oh.
Yeah. What is this? Exactly. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, you feel like you've lost your mind. And everything that you've learnt up until now is gone, but it's not. It hasn't. Welcome to the Wild Roads. I'm Shona Lee.
And I'm Paula Ivy. Join us for conversations about how we don't do stuff normal.
How we choose the wild roads of life. We want to show you all that's fun and possible, building businesses, making money,
navigating relationships and parenting, things we nerd out about,
and running at our wildest dreams.
Is there anything in specific that you want to say? I can't even. I have a feeling that me making the words right now is going to be a challenge. Okay, Shona Lee.
Yeah.
What? Oh, actually, do you know what? Okay, I'm going to ask you. My husband actually got asked this question. My husband Brendan at a work event the other week. They got a new boss, one of the senior people in the company. He's in a very corporate work environment, so there's like lots of levels. Anywho, there was a new boss that was brought in, and he took everybody out after this workshop and wanted to get to know everybody, and he asked them a question. He actually asked, what is your spirit animal? But instead of asking the person, he asked another person to tell him who that other person's spirit animal was. And I thought that's actually a really cool question, to get somebody else to think about what somebody else's spirit animal might be. So I'm gonna say what I think.
This could go either way.
It could be highly offensive. But I'm gonna say what I think that your spirit animal is. I don't know all the official things of what all the spirit animals mean. We could.
No, either do I.
But this is the vibes that I get from this animal, and why I feel like it's a Shona. It's your spirit animal, and then you can tell me what you think your spirit animal is, and we can see if it's the same animal.
Ooh, okay.
Or if it's completely different.
All right, let's do it. I'm too busy trying to think about yours, but okay, let's go.
I feel like if you hear some creaking, it's my chair. I can change my chair if it's going to be too annoying.
I can hear it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Shona, I see your spirit animal as the horse. Is that good?
Get out of town.
Oh because, okay, this is what I see as the horse. I don't know specifically, like with spirit animal world, I don't know what the specific thing about a horse is. It would be cool to actually look that up later and see if I'm a little bit spot on with that. But for me, the horse represents like a form of freedom. Like, you know how people like break horses in to train them and stuff? Like, I see you more as like a Brumby. Like, you're wild. And like people have tried to break you in, and it might work for a little bit, but then you're like, nah, I'm out of here. I'm just gonna ride off into the sunset, my mane just like trailing behind me in this like path of dust, and I'm out of here. So for me, I see horses as like, they're so calm, and they're so, what's the word? They're so calm, and they've got an energy about them that when you are in the presence of a horse, it just like, everybody goes like this, there's a horse.
Yeah.
They watch the horse, and like, it's so beautiful. And just the horse being a horse is just a beautiful sight. And then watching a horse run free is like one of the most amazing things. And I see your spirit animal as the horse.
Oh, that is so cool. Wow. I feel like I'm a horse. Spirit animal.
Yay!
That's why I was just a little bit shocked at the start, because it's just like, well, that's totally me. Because it's that, like, I don't know the meanings either. We should look them up after, and we should put it in the comments below. Because I see myself as a free spirit as well, and strong, independent, but also loves to be in a herd that I love. But also, I think I have a flight reflex. Like I innately just do. Like if something's, you know, really bothering me, not scaring me, I face it. Like a horse would actually turn and face it first. But
Yeah.
initially it's just like a big cat jump, like, oh, what was that? Like, you know, but then
Oh, how
face
horses
it.
get scared.
Yeah, they're so cute. It's just like they're like this pussy cat that just goes, what was that? And then they turn and face it. They turn and face it, and then they make decisions whether to bolt or whether just to move with it. So it's kind of, yeah, I can so relate to the horse, and plus I love them. They're very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
So,
I got it
that's
right.
cool. You did get it right. All right. Okay, I'm gonna guess yours. Not
Do
guess
me
yours.
now.
This is the fear. Do me now. This is the feeling I get, and this is like what I see, what I feel from you. I feel like you're like a gazelle.
Oh.
And it's like this beauty, this you kind of think that a gazelle is just, you know, flying around, being beautiful, and just, you know, fluttering over here, and, you know, just doing these beautiful big jumps, big leaps with their beautiful, elegant, long legs, and just being just, you know, beautiful over there. But man, I tell you what I see in a gazelle is that they are just like this animal that's, you know, that plays with danger. Like it will wait when they have a, you know, the predator coming, they don't just like flee straight away. They just like keep eating, watching, keep eating the grass, keep watching. And when it's close enough, it's like, yep, I'm out of here, run. Like,
they walk on the wild side. I love it.
and I see that in you. It's just like you like play on the wild side, and you know how to, you know where to go. Because there's this beautiful favorite photo of you that is my ultimate favorite. Like I want to put it on my walls. Like it's you coming out of a cold, you know, when you did your swim quest in the winter, and it was freezing. It was freezing, and your face.
Oh, the one where I'm going,
you catching it, and you're like,
my mouth like wide open, and I'm clutching
like
myself because I'm like, it's so cold.
But it was like the last minute run. Like it's gonna bite me on my tail, but it's the last minute run, but you're fine. Oh gosh, you just crack me up. But it's just like you play with danger, but you have grace and your elegance, and you're wild, man. You're just totally wild, but you do it in this most beautiful, like beautiful magnetic way, and that's what I see in you.
Oh, I love that. I never would have thought of a gazelle. But they're so pretty when they're leaping around in their like fields, and they're like la 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 la.
Yeah. See?
Oh, I like that because it's kind of like I look like I'm just goofing around and playing and just having fun, but I do a lot of things that are like, why is she doing that?
Yeah.
Like, you're crazy, man.
Yeah. Yes.
That's perfect. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
changing it now. I always associate with dolphins because they're just like hanging out in the water, riding the waves, jumping around. They love to hang out in groups, and like I see the spirit of like dolphins as playful and energetic, and they're actually got an element of that too. Like like they can swim with sharks, and sharks would be just like, oh, it's a dolphin. Like, and they don't mess with dolphins.
Yeah.
Dolphins are like, I'm a dolphin. I don't care. I'll hang with you, shark.
That's totally, because you're like, they still have that elegance about them. Oh my God.
I shark on it on my jumper today.
There you go.
There you go. We can pretend it's a dolphin fin. Yeah, I've always loved dolphins, and like whenever I see dolphins, I feel like, there's me up there. Is that weird?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No.
You're fine.
I wish mermaids were real, because then but then again, I'd like to watch them, but I'm not a water baby.
I love mermaids. I reckon they are real because there is so much of the ocean that we have never even seen or explored yet.
Do you know I thought I saw
They're
one
so-
like for real? And I
Yeah,
still
when?
think I did. It was
Yeah.
off the back of the boat at the Whit Sundays, which we're going to go to. But I was on a
I went to mermaid, like,
spotting.
I was about to say mermaid shopping. I'm like, that's not right. Like, you go, what is
I'll
it?
have one of
Stalking?
them. I'll have one of them.
Like mermaids stalking or like not hunting because we don't want to like capture
Spotting.
it, but like
We went
on a mermaid safari.
Yeah, so I was in this on this charter. It was like a fishing charter, and I wasn't into fishing at all. So I was just on it sunbaking on the top deck, and we're right out at sea. And there were just people just fishing and stuff. And I was looking at the front of the boat, so no one was actually. They were all off the back of the boat.
Yeah.
And I was just there sunbaking, just looking out and looking at the beautiful, the sun. You know when you get that glare of the sun on each little ripple, there's beautiful sparkles of the sun. Yeah, there was that. Yeah, it's gorgeous. And then I was just staring at it, and then next minute it just honestly looked like this head with long hair just popped up and just stayed there, like it stayed still. And I'm like, is it? Like I'm trying to squint. Is it like, and it was just staying still. And it didn't like a seal would probably just go, in and out, whatever. But it just stayed still. And then it just gently, like probably for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And then gently it just went back down again. And I swore, and I was in my 20s and I was sober and I had nothing. And I was like,
I was going to say, were there drinks on his boat?
No. And I swore it was a mermaid.
Wow. I totally agree. I do think that they're real. I do.
Yeah.
Because there's so much about ocean that we don't know about.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So much. Okay, so Sean saw a mermaid. What are we going to talk about today?
Mermaids, identities. We're talking about identities today, identity shifts, right? I think, this is in my coaching world, in my coaching realm, that we talk about identity shifts all the time. And it's not a bad thing. I think it's a fabulous thing. There is some fear around identity shifts because it can be icky and murky when you're amongst it, when you're in the center and the gravity of it all. It's like really heavy at this, like while you're amongst it, while you're in it. But on the other side of it is pretty damn amazing. Some of us can go through identity shifts when we choose to. Some of us it will be like just sprung upon us, like it just all of a sudden it's like, why am I feeling like this, and subconsciously you don't realize, or you're not yearning for an identity shift. But especially in the work that we do, I guess, when we're holding space for a lot of emotions and for people, and we're a brand, we're a solo brand or a me brand, whatever you want to call it, we have our own thing. We're doing continual work, and so we're up leveling all the time. We have these ebbs and flows, and then there's we don't realize that something's happening to us that we need to shift. Not need to, but there's a desire within us that's subconscious that is feeling like it's time to shed a skin. It's time to let go. It's time, but it's like when we're in it, we're just like, what is happening here? And we can discuss this a little bit later, but I know like you are going through or have just gone through an identity shift. I go through them probably sometimes once a week, sometimes once a month, and sometimes it's every couple of months. But I tell you what, when I get smashed by it once a week, my whole body, my energy is a little bit depleted, but then after it, far out, it's a high.
Yeah. I found when we were traveling in particular, it was a constant identity shift. Like, it was like on steroids when we were traveling. Yeah. Because it's when you put yourself in a situation where you're doing things that you haven't done before and you're achieving them, and you're shifting the way you think about things, you're shifting the way that you do things, especially when you hit milestones or you hit goals that you've had, or are doing the thing that you've been dreaming about for so long, and then it's finally here and you're doing it, because you can't not be the same after that, like, because you're a person who does this now, and that's something that you'd never done before. You can't help but change. And it's so interesting because like I'm in the middle of one right now that before, whenever this would hit me, I would be like, oh my gosh, I've lost my mojo, or my creativity's gone. I don't know what I talk about anymore. Who am I? Having a like complete like identity crisis, and trying to go back to when it felt good. And my mentality was, I got to get back to it feeling good. I got to get back to when I was in flow. What was I doing then? I'll do that again. But quite often that doesn't help because you're like, well, I was doing that to get myself here. And if I start doing that again, I'm just going to go around in circles. Like I'm not actually progressing forward. So now I know when I'm starting to feel like I'm just standing here and there's like all these balls like flying around. And I'm like, I don't know which ball to catch. I don't know which ball's mine. Like what's going on? Which direction do I go? Like all things. Now when I go through it, I have this calmness about it now. I'm like, okay, cool. We're in this bit. All right, let's go. Instead of trying to fight it and trying to go back. I'm like, all right, let's ride this wave. I know it's only temporary. It's all going to come back around. I know there is still genius inside of me. It hasn't all dried up and wandered off, not coming back, which sometimes feels like where did it go? I was on fire and I was saying amazing things and I had all these profound epiphanies to share, and now there's nothing. It feels like in my brain there's just like a little me sitting there just smiling blankly back at myself going,
what is this? Exactly. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, you feel like you've lost your mind and everything that you've learnt up until now is gone, but it's not. It hasn't. There's a process of letting go of the old as well. So you know,
that's a big part, like letting that go and being like, all right, let's go on the ride. Instead of trying to hold on to like little bits of like, oh, but it felt good over here. And if I just hold on tight enough, like I can make it through. But it's you just let it go. And you're like, all right, we've got to ride here.
Yeah. We kind of have to, we need to let it go. The thing is with identity shifts is that when we're not ready to let go straight away. It's kind of like, you know, even if it's a conscious decision and we decide, okay, we need to become the person that's going to get me to where I want to go. Yeah. So it's that. And so when we even decide that, it's kind of like we still want to hold on to who we are. It's kind of like, just in case I don't take the things that I know with me, you know, and I go to this next place with this empty head. Like, you know, we hold on to it, and that's completely okay. And while we're in that murky bit of, well, I don't actually know, I don't know what I want, you know, what are my new values? What are my new virtues? What are the things that when I want to become this person to get me to where I want to be, what are the things? What is it? Who am I now? And that's when we need to sit. I think for me, I feel like I need to sit in it. It's almost like a meditation. It's like go through the motions of cocooning, if that's what you do. Like I cocoon, it's just, you know, I don't shut down, but I don't really want to talk much. I need to just rest and be still. And I guess it's not even a survival. It's looking at the finer things in life, the easy, simple things in life. Go watch a stream of water, you know, just like surround yourself in nature kind of thing. And then once I'm in that, I'm able to look at what's going on and ask myself the questions. And when there's all the noise around of everyday stuff, I just can't. Like I just don't have enough time to think about what's going on. And that's when I know when I'm in this is that I need self-awareness. And self-awareness for me is asking myself the questions, quietening everything down, being still, and just, you know, not even being afraid of the yucky parts of it. Sometimes there is cringeworthy parts of an old identity that you want to shift. It's just facing it all, you know, it's just turning around, facing it, staring it in the face and working through it, ask yourself the questions. And then once you realize, I think that's the transition for me, is that once I realize, okay, now I know, now I've got these butterflies in my stomach, this excitement about where I want to be now, that person, the new identity that I want to become, it's easy to let that other one go, the older one go. And that's the shift. That's the kind of the process I go through. I need to sit in the zone. It will take as long as it takes. And then once I've got that excitement and I'm ready to let go, then I'm on my way for the next shift. I'm on my way for the next identity to be able to get me to take the action. I think that's what it is. It's that the next identity or the new identity is that's the one that's going to be able to hold space, to be able to up level to that level, hold that energy to take the action of that next part that you want to get to. It's conserving your energy when you're in that murky bit. For me, rebuild, reset, think about, getting that clarity, I think, and then it's easier to let go. It's a process that once you know it, once you've been through it a few times and you actually understand and you have that awareness, it's easier. It's a lot easier.
Oh, 100%. Because I mean, I've gone through it countless times now, and it's only, the last, like within the last sort of, I don't know, 6 months to a year that I started going, oh, it's an identity shift. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I got this. I don't have to, after years of every time this happening, me like freaking out and thinking like I'm no good anymore, and that I've lost it, and that nobody's ever going to hire me again, and that, my amazing ideas are never going to return again. I
know.
The cocooning situation, it is really important to calm your nervous system when you're going through this, because it's so easy to get worked up by it all and freak out and be in that like high, jittery, like, okay, I've got to do something, like energy. Whereas what it's calling you to do is to become quite insular and like focus your energy on one thing at a time, not try and do all of the things, but like it's really about, okay, well, what do I want to do like right now? It's very much a present experience. It's not like, when you're starting, like for me, when I see something that I want to go for in my wild dreams, I'm like, yes, I want that to happen. Like I decide and I jump in and go, yep, okay, I'm doing that. And then I start swimming towards it. As you do the identity shifting and things, it's like, yeah, you still know where you're going. You still know like the big picture. But right now, it can be really murky as to understand, like, well, what's the next right step? And like, what are my goals in between there and now? And like, what am I doing like just today? And and it's so easy to go, okay, well, I need to do this, and this. But it's like, just focus on one thing at a time and really trust your intuition to guide you. Be like, all right now we're focusing on this. And don't even think about the fact that, you haven't written a great post in like 3 days or a week. You feel like you haven't shared any like brilliant, like profound, mind-blowing, earth-changing like things, which you're so used to doing. And you're like, oh, I was so on fire with the things that I said, and now there's nothing coming through me. It's just focus on the next thing. And that I find, if I quiet my nervous system and just focus on one thing at a time, my creativity starts to come back. And all of a sudden I get a great idea come through and I'm like, oh, there it is. It's because I'm quieting my nervous system. I can actually hear it. I can actually hear my intuition talking to me. Whereas if I'm all up in my head and I'm all frantic about it all feeling murky and weird and like I don't know what I'm doing, then I can't hear anything because it's too noisy. Like what you said, it's too noisy. You can't hear what your intuition is trying to tell you. And you always know the right way, and you're always going to be okay. And you're moving along your timeline. Like I see it as like, you can't not go forward though, because we are always progressing along our own timeline of life. So you've got this. You can do it.
Exactly.
I'm like, I've got this. I've done this before.
Yeah.
We're just moving forward.
That's right.
Part just feels a bit murky and a bit uneasy because we're going into places that we haven't been to before, or we've done things we hadn't done before, and that's all just settling into ourselves now.
Yes.
Just shifting and rearranging things.
That's right. We always have that period where it's just the settling in period. Like the fear is there previously for me, because like we mentioned before, the fear that what we know or what we've just built up, even to 2 days ago, everything that we got, that level we got to 2 days ago, that if we go away and we don't post for a day, or we go away and we, lay in bed or watch Netflix or read a book or do whatever we need to do to recharge, that we're just going to go boom, we're going to plummet back down to, that 6 months ago. Like, we feel like we're going to take so many back steps, but it doesn't work that way. It actually works the opposite. It actually, our level stays there, but we just need to align now with that level by recharging ourselves, settling our nervous system, because it is a bit of an adrenaline rush when we get there, especially when
your nervous system is so important, because we talk about it settling in, but it's, if you are like myself and one of your biggest values in life is growth and expansion, and like to experience life and to live life and to feel like you're living it, it's like you don't actually ever really settle anywhere, because that's comfort zone. That's like, that actually feels more uncomfortable to me than actually getting uncomfortable doing things I haven't done. And because I'm so driven by that I'm like, sitting still and like getting comfortable just feels like itchy to me now. But it's like, you need to settle into your nervous system, because otherwise you can't deal with that. Like, you need your nervous system to be at a state where it's like peaceful and it's settled, so that you can continue to grow, and that you feel like you've got this. Because otherwise, then that's when like burnout happens, and like, you start to make choices that aren't for, your health, and you're just doing it to, get energy and to feel better, when really it's more paying attention to like, okay, what does my nervous system need? And letting go of like, this is what I find, right, is that, and I know that like we're not HD experts here, but I know, like, being a generator, that I know that I look for things to respond to, and I don't use that as an excuse for anything, but I'm just aware that that's like what I'm designed to do. So what I notice in this part is that I will go out into the world and go, all right, I've got nothing coming through me right now, so I need to find something to respond to it, so I'm creating. When really, I know that there's things that I can respond to through my own soul and my own channel. It's just that my nervous system is kind of heightened, and that I'm not listening to it right now, and I'm not taking that moment to go, okay, everything's cool. You don't need to respond to anything right now. Just take a moment, take a breath, just let it happen. Like,
we need to
breathe and let it happen. But then when I go out there and I go, okay, cool, let's find some inspiration for Paula Ivy to like get back out on the internet and blow people's minds and all of the things. And I go out there, and if I'm in the mentality of like looking for inspiration on social media, that's when comparisonitis like really is so heightened. And I use the word like, I'm just looking for inspiration, when really I go out there and then I just start comparing myself to everybody else. I'm like, well, that person talks about very similar things to me, and that's what they're talking about now. Maybe I need to talk about that. I'm not going to say it as good as them, because they're awesome. Look at all the attention they're getting. Look at all the engagement they've got. Look at all the sales that they're making. I'm not getting that. I must be crap. Okay, moving right along. Where else can I get some inspiration from? And it just keeps going like that.
It's adding, isn't it?
I don't intend for that. It's what naturally happens, because I'm not calm. I'm not in my own power. Like, I'm sort of jittery, and I'm like, my energy is like, okay, give us something to respond to, when really I need to take a breath, step back and go, all right, give me one thing to focus on right now, and I'll focus all my intention on it for the next like 30 minutes, hour, whatever, and just calm myself. That's why I love photography, because that to me is like therapy. I'm like, all right, cool. Paula, you're in your head, go get your camera, because as soon as I've got that camera in my hand, there's something happens to my body, and it's like it clicks into like, okay, what can I see? What can I hear? What can I feel? Where's the beauty that's around me right now? And I look at the light falling on the trees. I look at the texture of the elements around me. I look at the way things are moving in the breeze. Like, I look at like, it might sound cheesy the way that I'm describing it, but that's what happens. And it's like my whole body just kind of goes, all right.
It's beautiful, Paula, because it's you have the power to slow things down, and that's what you're talking about. That like the Instagram and stuff and the comparisonitis, like that's just like that's adding to the noise.
Oh yeah.
And so when you like speak like that, it's like that beauty, looking at the beauty, you have the power to slow things down, and we can't see our own reflection in running water. And so that's, you know, when we're full on, like we're full on racing, we have to be able to look at ourselves, have self-awareness, but we have control to still our environment so we can see it.
Yes, that needs to be a Shona Lee quote. You can't see your own reflection in running water, like that.
I'm pretty sure I've heard it somewhere before, maybe.
I'm pretty sure I stole that from someone.
I don't know where it's from. I have no idea where it come from, but I'm sorry to someone if you made that up. But anyway, but it's true. It's so true. Like that's where I know
it was just a Rumi quote or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That's right. But it's true. Like the only way I can ground myself is to create that stillness for myself. And I need to go in nature, and you need to pick up your camera. I need to walk in nature and talk to myself. But you know, but look at the birds and have conversations. And I know it sounds really crazy, but that's where I get my best downloads. That's where I just ground and just like free myself of all the noise and the chatter and the constant of the things that don't matter in this world. You know, that creep in, they're energy leaks that I need to plug up, you know?
Yeah.
Fearing an identity shift. Once you realize that that's what's actually happening, there's nothing to fear. No. Like it's a process. It gives you, it's almost like permission to go and stop and reset and give yourself that like time out, man. Like what you've built so far is not going anywhere. Just take a chill. Yeah.
Yeah. And the sooner you realize that and the sooner you do it, the quicker it's over as well.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it drags on forever and ever and ever if you're trying to hold on to it and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
I need to do this and I need to do this and I need to do and if I don't do this and blah, blah, blah. Do all the things that obviously you need to get done, but make sure you give yourself those moments of like, just slowing it down and focusing your attention on just one thing and being present. It's so powerful because that's when, like when I do have my camera in my hand, that's when I do come up with the best ideas.
Yeah.
You get the inspiration from like the strangest things and you're like, oh, well, me taking a photo of this leaf actually inspired this whole idea of like the next course I'm going to create. And you're like, how did that happen? But it happened because
it does.
I was so present and connected to that moment and not thinking about anything else. I was just connecting more in my heart space and how I was feeling that the idea was able to come through. I don't always think that it's necessarily like the thing that's right in front of you that is giving you the inspiration. It's just like you're in a moment that allowed that inspiration to come through.
Yes, I agree. Instead of forcing it, instead of sitting down, okay, it's 11 o'clock on a Wednesday and I'm going to sit down, write a list of all the things all the ideas that it might, you know, I might be able to
brainstorming.
Kill me now.
Oh my God. When I studied graphic design, I was like, this is okay, I get it. And it's sometimes like it would create some ideas, right? But my best ideas for creating things and being creative, I can see why they say brainstorm and do like, you know, the cloud bubbles and you write a word and then you're like, what word associates with that cloud bubble? And you draw another line, a little cloud bubble and stuff. I used to hate doing those. And I'd find that if I do that and then I'd create from there, I'm like, yeah, it's all right. Like they were never the projects that I was fully jazzed about that I thought were genius. Like they were the ones that I was like, yeah, cool. Like that makes sense to do it like that.
Yes, exactly.
Like I've seen that before and I'll take that idea and yeah, cool, I'll do my own spin, blah, blah, blah. But the things that come through me that are like, oh my gosh, this feels amazing to create and this is genius, blah, blah, blah. There might have been somebody else that's created something else, but an idea comes through you and you're like, oh, yes. Without having to sit down and try and force it out, it feels so much better.
It's like so much better.
And the energy behind it is like so much more like free and like it feels like more expansive and like it's ready to play. Whereas like if you've designed an idea, kind of forced it out, you're like, yeah, that's good. That makes sense. Yeah, let's do that. It's like there's a different energy behind it. Well, that's how I felt about
I agree that. I agree.
And cloud bubbles.
Yes.
And why I think sometimes I'll get ideas and I'll write a list of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And sometimes that comes through me. Yeah, I'm like, I don't think the best ideas come from writing lists and stuff.
Not for a solo brand, not for when you're working with like a soul aligned business or or writing a book or anything like that. I think in a team environment, in a corporate world, perhaps that works that way. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and I think it's some of us are just creatives, and that's how our creative flow comes. My partner Simon, like he's got to know me that way. Whereas he works differently. He needs to set up times and go, okay, we're going to go through this, and we're going to go through a budget, and we're going to go da. And to me, that's just like, okay, can you just...
I can't turn my creativity on then. Thanks.
I'm moving to Mexico. Like, just get me as far away as possible from that, I was like, I just can't. It's just like, if you want me to come up with some cool ideas and stuff, it's going to just come to me when it comes to me. It's just, I can try and force it. And sometimes it's like I do have meetings with my real estate agent guy, Mark, that I do a live about property and real estate and stuff every week, and we have meetings. It was like, what are we going to talk about next? And sometimes that works for me, but that's not my lit up soul aligned business either. So that can be like real strategy stuff, that's in a different corporate world. But this creativity side, this side of me, that's 98% of my work that I do in the world, that just needs to flow. And that just needs to be coming along with each identity shift, each change, each breakthrough, each up level. And I'm just so lit up with that. That just fuels me.
Me too.
It's so cool. I just love this life.
Life is so beautiful. There is just so much that we've got around us every single day that it's just, I feel like it's a real untapped source. We always try to rely on our intelligence to try and come up with stuff. Yeah. But I feel like the more that we take that breath and connect to nature and the world around me, not even go outside, even just in my own home, and just connecting to like the elements that I have around me right now, it's just, that allows me to receive things like through my heart space instead of through my head space, because I know that I'm not here to live a life that makes sense. That seems like soul death to me. And I know that's not for everyone. I know we're not all the same. But for me personally, to live a life that's predictable, that's scheduled, that's routine, that's logical, that's safe, that's smart, all of those things, I'm just like, ugh. I just vomited in my mouth a little bit then. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, no, give me a life that like is wild and I don't know what's coming next. And each moment I'm like feeling it, even if it's a super excited, like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. This is the best day ever moment. Or even if it's an extremely painful moment, I'm like, I feel alive.
Yes.
Like, discomfort makes me feel alive. Just being comfortable and coasting, I feel nothing. Like, I just feel like, yeah, cool. Life's okay.
Yeah.
Nothing to complain about. Same old. Oh, I hate this. I hate the saying same old. Like, oh, shut up. Like, it's kind of like, hearing the ideas come through your heart space rather than trying to think about things. I feel like for me, when I'm in an identity shift, that is like key to even pay more attention to that in those moments.
Yes, exactly. What wild road are we going to take this time?
Yeah, the wild roads.
Wild roads. We always choose the wild roads. We don't do anything easy.
No, the wild road is definitely not comfy pants territory.
No, it isn't.
It's definitely not Netflix and chill.
No.
No, so we are the Netflix episode.
Let's go tame the lion. Oh, yeah, there we do go.
There we do go.
Yeah.
It's the awkward goodbye part. Goodbye.
It is the awkward goodbye part. Let's sing.
Thanks for listening. See you next
See
week.
you next time.
I got to make some good words come out of my mouth. I thought it was going to be terrible.
No, you did good, man. You did so good.
Wild Rose! Wild Rose! Wild Rose!
Wow.